Hello, hello, and welcome to episode number 130 of CoCreative NoCode's Office Hours. I'm your MC, Tonya, here to introduce my partner, Pablo, as our host for Office Hours. This is very special Office Hours. It is our very first European time-friendly Office Hours, and I think Ben is in Australia, so he's having an easier time of it. 2 a.m. Pacific time. So welcome. If this is your first time joining us on Office Hours, either watching live on Facebook or maybe watching the replay on YouTube, Office Hours, we do this every day of the week, Monday through Friday, now 2 times on Mondays at 2 a.m. and 10 a.m. Pacific time, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Wednesday, I've just jumbled it all up. You can look up our schedule by going to CoCreativeNoCode.com and signing up and clicking on the office hours. I'll get these extra ones up there very shortly. We're going to go ahead and start. Ben is here. Our member Ben is here. He said he's got some questions for us, and I'll turn it over to Pablo. Pablo, it's all yours.
Thank you very much, Tonya. Let's hear those questions.
Oh, we can't hear you yet.
Can you hear me?
Yep, now we can.
Hey, how is everyone?
Good. How are you?
Good, thanks. Excited for the 8 p.m. office hours.
Yay.
Well, 2 a.m. for you, Tonya, but
Sorry.
I've just got a bunch of API questions. I hope that's okay. I went through and did a lot of kind of setup stuff prior to this, but getting a lot of error messages and APIs is far from my strong point. So I thought I'd kind of see if Pablo wanted to do some API stuff.
Yeah, sure. You want to share your screen and show what? Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Cool. So can you see that?
Yep.
So as you can see, I've got a down here. It's basically an office hours Spain set up of all the issues that I'm kind of having at the moment. But what I'm finding with a lot of my my APIs is I just keep getting error messages over and over again. It doesn't matter what I do. I think I'm waiting for that click moment where I'll really understand it, but at this point I just don't.
So it seems like you're using Rapid API, right? I haven't done it with that, but for example, I've done the Spotify connection directly connecting using authentication. So I think is Rapid API handling the authentication right now for you?
So this is a little bit cheeky, but the reason I'm using this, and I do have it set up through Pathfix already for OAuth, but this is me getting around OAuth.
Okay.
So this basically essentially scrapes public data instead of just waiting for people to actually authorize it.
Okay, and it should work. Have you followed like the Rapid API tutorial or something like this? I'm gonna check it out.
Well, there is no Rapid API tutorial. It doesn't exist. So it's essentially me just doing a bunch of API connector tutorials and trying to work it out.
Yeah. Okay, let's check it out. So,
do you want to take control?
Yeah. Or I'll do it in my screen because I think it's gonna be faster, and I'll share.
Okay, so I'll stop sharing.
Let's see.
Hey, Calum. Welcome.
Morning. What is this time? Is this the new office hours time?
It is a new office hours time, not the new. We've added 2 sessions. So this is the time for Mondays and Fridays, European friendly.
So is there still one the normal time in the evening tonight, or?
Yes, there is. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Awesome. No, it's good. This is just an excuse for me not to work that I'm supposed to be doing during the day.
There you go.
Glad I didn't say that like what we're like.
Tutorials are provided by the, it's interesting, by the Songstats app or by another app that connects to Spotify. Yeah. So
Well,
you've been trying
Songstats
to work it out.
connects to every service.
Right. Yeah, because URL, the host, the key, you've signed up for the key. You have the Spotify artist ID. That's interesting. I'm gonna recreate it in mine. Oh, not here.
Although I love that plugin. The Airtable plugin is awesome.
Yeah, I was doing some tests with it. It's pretty cool. I love Airtable, like anything that I can do to use it.
We're in good company. 3 of us love Airtable. Actually 4, because Kim's also a big fan. Calum, are you a fan of Airtable? I don't know.
I hate it. I think it's the worst thing to ever break to the planet.
Okay, so 4 out of 5 office hours participants recommend Airtable.
Kidding, I've never used it.
I think that might be the problem with the Songstats one is they haven't sent me my API key. Sorry, I think that's the issue with
Oh,
that
really?
one.
But
Yeah.
you had one, right? Or not?
Yeah, no, I haven't set the Songstats one up yet. It would be the ones that I was trying to do were kind of the Instagram and TikTok ones.
Do you want to try with that? I'll stop sharing if you want, and you can, or we can do it here, whatever you want. We can try with a key and see if it works. And
yeah, sure.
Let's do.
Maybe if I send you this in the chat, it might be the best way.
Okay, something went wrong. See, email is already taken. Okay, so apparently I already have an account here and I didn't know. Has it worked with Pathfix when you've done tests with them? I have used Pathfix quite a bit to use the Twitter API, and it works great. I think we're talking about this service.
Pathfix is amazing, and the best thing is their customer service is phenomenal. Like if you have an issue, they'll jump on a call with you and share screen and walk through everything. And they're like bubble experts, which is great.
Okay, for some reason, I think you're gonna have to share a screen because for some reason my browser is not working well. So let's try it with yours, and then we can move back to mine. But let's try it with yours with the API key if you want.
Okay. So, I mean, it depends which one you want. It doesn't really matter too much, does it? I guess this one. So, if I initialize call.
Okay, it says invalid parameter. And you need the username or the Instagram ID for scraping. Interesting.
Do you want the documentation?
Yeah. Because that's a different error than the previous one that we were seeing, right?
There's different errors across everything pretty much. I'm not going to say one.
Okay. Okay, can you go down a little bit? Yeah, and you do have those parameters, those header parameters in the other code or not? Let's check it out.
So this was for
Yeah, so you have the host, you have the key. You don't have,
username.
yeah, you don't have the other one, like the IG header parameter, I think. The first string, or do you?
Oh, really?
I couldn't see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a your parameter, right? And it's different. So
no, it was for get feed by username. So
oh, okay, because we're checking out. Yeah.
yeah, get feed by username. There we go.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. And you have copied exactly this, right? Let's go back.
Yep.
And it's not working. And, okay, let me take control and try it out. And otherwise, I think we're gonna have to write to Rapid API and see what they say. Have you contacted their support ever? Are they good or not really?
I've never tried.
I've had nothing but problems personally.
Oh,
really? Okay.
I don't know if I cannot see it. Is there something you need to activate, Tonya, for me to be able to take control of? Oh no, Ben needs to give me control, right?
I actually have never done that before, so I don't know. I know that Justin was able to do it, so
yeah.
I assume it was just. I assume that I can't because I run on a Chromebook. So
Interesting. I think Ben, if you click something that says I think what see options, you should be able to share control of your screen.
Settings, options. I don't have that option.
Let me see. Okay, and then let's try something else. Not for this one. I mean, because for this one, I don't see how I would make it different. You know, like you're trying those parameters, which are the ones that the API is suggesting, and it's telling you that the parameters are wrong. Is the URL correct? It seems like it is, right? IG.
Yeah, I copy and pasted directly from here.
Oh no! But there's something over there. No. Yeah. So let's see how that is built. Give me a second. IG proof use. So if you go to a URL, yeah, of the URL, if you click there and you see how that is built.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go to right where the parameters are added. Yeah. So
oh, sorry.
Again, yeah. So where it says IG equals the rock, there you should have IG equals IG, because what is in between brackets is what is going to be replaced by the parameter. So instead of like that, you should have IG and then equals IG between brackets. Okay, so
okay.
yeah.
So take these brackets out.
Exactly. And now that goes in between brackets.
Sorry, it's a little slow. I'm counting down the 8 hours until the MacBooks get out.
No worries. That happens a lot in this page.
So IG equals
IG,
like
and now
that?
and now you see the option to add a value for the IG parameter. Okay. Let's do the same with the other one with the response type.
Okay. So take out feeds and put response type.
Exactly. Because whatever is between brackets is going to be replaced by parameters. So what you had there was feed equals feed and response type, and you had like the rock equals the rock, because you were replacing the parameter, which is the thing in between brackets. And you want to have IG equals parameter and response type equals parameter. So the way it is right now. And now here where it says value, over there is where you put the mock values from the API. Yeah, so the rock and feeds.
It's just been so slow.
It might be because of
Like
the screen sharing. Yeah, it's right out now. And if you click private there, or if you unclick it right now, what you're saying is that when you use this API call inside your app, you will be able to add parameters from the workflows tab, data, etc. But you see right now it is working. Yeah.
Amazing.
So that's great. And if you go down to the bottom, the way I like to see this data called responses. Yeah, down to the bottom of all. Wow, that's a long response. Yeah, is over there. So you already know about this, which is great. Yeah, because it's much easier to see the structure, in my opinion. Yeah. Okay.
Awesome. So I'm assuming that will be as the pretty much the issues that I'm having these.
I think so.
So like with this one. Yeah, this one I was actually getting, but I'm like, I was trying to figure out how I make.
Because there are no parameters over there. So everything that goes after the interrogation will be a parameter, you know? And then the parameters are all paired using the ampersand symbol. So I'll share my screen very quickly and I'll show you what I mean. Because this also helps a lot when understanding how APIs work. So for example, for this page, this is the URL, the Rapid API auth signup, and then referral is the first parameter. And in this case, the referral is search Spotify. So this is basically as if you had done in the API connector. It's not the same because the parameters, you can use them in any page and you will actually use them as URL parameters inbound. But what I mean is here, they're doing something like this. Referral equals referral, you know?
Gotcha.
And it's because it has here this interrogation mark. If you wanted to add different parameters, you would add them using this symbol. So whenever you have like 5 parameters and you have a URL, you need to check that the 5 parameters are being separated using this symbol. Okay, you could add here whatever. And something also, I think a good page to understand your parameters is Amazon, because if you use Amazon, you'll see that the search URL once you've done a search is really, really long. And it's because they put all parameters from the search together. So if you have a minimum price and a maximum price, you have a location, whatever that you've used to filter your search, they will all come up in the URL. So it's nice to see. Okay, do you want to check something more? Yeah.
So with the TikTok one I was just showing you, is there a way to add a parameter to that one?
Yeah, sure. Let's see it in your screen if you want. Want to share a screen? Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
So there, if you add a question mark, if you add a question mark,
add the question mark there.
You want to have that as a parameter, then you
the username needs to be the parameter.
Okay, so then you would remove first the slash after info. And now add a question mark. And now you can put there, how should this parameter be named? Because that depends on the API. So if you go to the documentation, to the TikTok documentation.
Yeah.
Okay, let's check it out. Okay. Username. Okay, perfect. So then in the API connector, you can now type username equals.
What was that, sorry?
Equals. So yeah, and then in between brackets, you can basically add whatever you want. I like to use the same word, but just so that you know, just use instead of username, you can type user, and it will work perfectly well.
Gotcha. But your general thing is to keep them the same where you can?
Yeah. Unless if they've chosen a bad word, or I want more clarification, because sometimes it will only be a letter, you know. So instead of username, it could be you. And then if I want to come back and very quickly know that this is a username, I might use username instead of you. But normally I just use the same word. Yeah,
okay.
That's
so try initializing this, reinitializing this now.
Let's see. Yeah, I think it's still loading.
Yeah.
Okay, user info doesn't exist. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
What would you like me to do, sorry?
Can we go back to the documentation?
Yeah.
And we'll check what. Okay, let's see what is the URL. If you go up. Oh, so this is get user feed, and it's saying 33 user / feed. Okay, yeah. If we go, oh no, but we were doing get user info. So let's go to the left and select that call, because right now we're So this is get user info. I think it's the same we're using. Oh yeah. It's because they're not using parameters. So if we go back to the API connector. Yeah, so they're not using URL parameters. Instead of that, they're building their URL. So we would need to just put info / and then username in between brackets, but that's it. So yeah, exactly.
So like that?
Yeah.
Hey, look at that.
And that is also the difference between doing things in Babel using the like giving a value to a page or using URL parameters, because you can do both things. Some people prefer one, some people prefer another one. So I'll show you what I mean.
Yep.
Yeah. So here I have this page, and you have the option to give a type of content to the page, right? So if you give a type of content user, for example, and let's actually give a value to the user. I'm gonna give it a name text. Okay, so I gave it this field, and now I'm gonna choose the backup field for the URL name. But we're also gonna have a slug in each user. So if I go to my users, I don't know which will be the test users here, but I assume I have a few. Yeah, so I have one here. I'm gonna give to this user a slug, and I'm gonna say it's Pablo. And now in this page, because the page is of type user, okay? Oh, let's do something. Let's add something here, a big text. And here we're gonna put the current user's name. Okay, so right now we're not seeing anything. But if we put here Pablo. Oh wait, I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna have here a drop down, and I'm gonna select a user. Okay. And we're gonna send that user to a page. So you see what I mean. No. Yeah. Okay. And this is how you might navigate, for example, to a profile page of a user, right? So let's just name this other user and give it a name of Pedro, for example. Then create a slide. And let's also make sure that I have no privacy rules that are. Oh, yeah, that's automatic. We don't care about that. Okay. I'm not being able, but I can do it with this other one. Yeah. Oh, okay, what's going on? Now it's because I bet there's something wrong with the privacy rules or something like this. Oh yeah, it's because it's the current user's name. Yeah, so what I want to check is the current page user's name. And now if I'm going to quickly, or if there's something that you don't understand, please let me know, Ben, because this is just to clarify on the concept that we have talked about, okay, a second ago. So what I'm gonna do is here search for the different users in the app, okay, and I'm gonna get the email. We're gonna have two different users, these two. And I just want to show you that we can go to a page using the same thing that we had here, okay, which is just like the username or the email or whatever we want. Okay, we can shift between users and we'll see the different user pages, but we could also do it using URL parameters, okay? The same way, this is actually a URL parameter, the debugging mode, But here we could have another one that was username equals Pedro, for example, instead of having it here. And then do actions using this instead of this, okay? Because your API call, the first one was working like this, using the URL parameters. But then the second one was working using just the username after the slash. So as part of the page URL, right? It's part of the beginning of the page URL. And inside Bubble, you can do the same. You can have the type of content of a page, and in that case, it will appear here, but you can also use URL parameters. Okay.
Gotcha. Okay.
Have you ever used URL parameters inside Bubble?
That's how I started, was using parameters, and I just went to state because I understand it a lot better. It was just like, this is a lot easier.
Yeah, that's normal. At first, it's way easier to understand, I think, at first. Let's check it with something else, okay? So imagine, I'm thinking of a good example, but maybe we should keep with the users, okay? So if you wanted to load, let's do something to make it more visual, I think. So I'm gonna give these users an image so that we very clearly see what user we're working with. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. I didn't know what was gonna show up, so I took the screen away just for a second. But I'm basically uploading one image to each user. And what we're gonna do is add the image here and shift between users using the URL parameter, so that you know how to use it in the future. We'll just use a pattern for each user. And now I'm not sure if this user had the name saved up. For some reason it didn't. So I'm gonna type it here, Pablo. Yeah. And now let's add here the image. And you see that over here we're using the current page user's name. And now for the image, we're gonna use, it's not current user, it's current page user. So the user that has been loaded to the page. Right? So in this case, it's gonna be Pedro. Once we refresh this. Yeah. But if we type here Pablo, we are getting Pablo with the other image. Now, what we want to do is see if we can get the same thing to happen using user or username equals Pedro. And why is this? Because sometimes you might want to have not only the user as a parameter or as something that you want to load to the page, you might have like 5 things. And then in this case, if you've already used the slash thing, right? You might want to add the parameters apart from that. So to do this, what you can do is, instead of using the current page user's name, we're gonna use a custom state, just because I know that you understand those. But we're gonna load that custom state with the info that is in the parameter, in the URL. So we have a custom state that is gonna be, well, instead of username, user. And now on page load, and there are a lot of ways to do this, but this is just to illustrate how the parameters work. On page load, we're gonna give a value to this custom state. And the value that we're gonna give it is gonna come from the page URL, okay? And this is where we're using the URL parameters. So it says get data from page URL, and it's asking us for which parameter. So now we have to decide we want to have to decide how we want our URL to be. Like if we want it to be username equals something or user equals something, or just you, as I was talking about before. But let's use user. So now it's gonna get username from page URL. Okay. Once we load the page. So if we have something here like the test API page and then username equals Pablo, it's gonna take Pablo. And we don't actually want to give the custom state this text value. What we want is to give the user that is associated to this text value, right? So we're gonna have to do something a little bit different, which is search for a user where the name equals what we just wrote before. Get username from page URL. So we're gonna be getting Pablo because username equals Pablo. And then we're gonna be searching for a user whose name is Pablo. And that is the value that we're gonna give our custom state. Was that too fast or did you get it, Ben?
What's the benefits of states versus parameters?
Of states versus parameters. So normally what I use is parameters, and I'll explain why. It's because actually we can load the page, and you'll see what I mean. First, I'm gonna make sure that I'm using here the custom states, because otherwise. Of course, I've done something wrong. Let's see what's going on. Oh yeah. I know what I'm doing now. Yeah. So first, this is what I was talking about. Okay, so right now we're not doing the slash Pablo slash Pedro. And one clear benefit, okay, of the page parameters instead of the URLs is that imagine we were shifting users using a button. Okay, so instead of doing it with the URL parameter, the way you might have done it before, if you wanted to do something like this, is by having two buttons here. And one says Pablo, and another one. This is very weird to do with users, but you get my point. And then when you click on one, you get one user. When you click on another one, you get a different one. So that there are two different buttons. And let's actually do it. Let's set a state when we click on each. We're going to set this same state because it's the one that we're using. And here we're directly going to click. Oh no, not here. Wait. So this is something that you might be more used to, right? You will click a button, we set a state, and yeah. It's with Pedro. Okay, here we are. Oh, come on. Yeah. Pablo, Pedro, Pablo, Pedro. Now, when we refresh the page, we're gonna lose this. So sometimes this is the desired behavior. Like if you're doing a lot of actions in the page with the customer states, like switching between tabs, but you have one tab that the user always should land to when they reload the page, or when this person shares the URL with a friend, something like this, then you should be using customer states. Because once I refresh the page, we no longer have a customer state selected. Now, however, if instead of setting a state, I was doing something else, which is, oh, well, we're gonna do it with parameters. So we're gonna go to the same page, which is the test API. Certainly not the best name for now, but and we're not gonna send data in this case. Yeah. We're gonna send parameters. So this works, this is exactly the same as doing the customer states for this use case, okay? So if we go to a page with the username parameter, we see how this has been added and the page is reading from the URL, okay? But now if we reload the page, we go back to this URL. So sometimes this makes a lot of sense because you want people to be able to share this URL. You want people to be able to refresh it, to bookmark it, you know, to come back later, things like this. And in this case, URL parameters are much better.
Does that also mean that the back button will work?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The back button will work because you will be changing the URL parameter. And it might also be good for if you want to keep the history of the user. You know, if you want to have the browser history change, things like this. So they are similar in functionalities for some things, but actually pretty different, yeah, for a lot of others.
It'd also be good if you were trying to use a heat map plugin, wouldn't it, like Hotjar or something?
I think so, probably. Yeah, if you want to detect changes in the URL in some way, then definitely it's probably easier than detecting changes in the custom states. Yeah, and it's also very clear if you're debugging something, like if something is going wrong or what you have selected at all times, you know. So I like it a lot. I normally do, like I would say, like 90% of my navigation is done with URL parameters, and then for some particular things I use custom states.
Right. Yeah, I think with Hotjar and those kind of tools and using states, because you can see, like it's a heat map and you can see where people are clicking basically on the application, you're just seeing spots, you don't know what they're actually clicking on.
Okay, yeah, I get it. Yeah, because if they're showing something that wasn't there on the screen initially, right? Like you don't see that.
Yeah.
You mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I would try with URL parameters. That's interesting. I don't know if it will be better. I thinking it will, but yeah, you have to try. I'm curious. Yeah.
Okay. Is someone else on, Tonya, that wants to have a go?
Perhaps Calum? I don't know. He might be just working in the background.
No, I'm here. Yeah, I've got a quick question, which should be fairly simple one. I did the dating part of One Life, which I'll just share the screen. Worked really well. So yeah, it's I didn't use the. That's a great picture of you there, Tonya, by the way. I didn't use the Tinder pile plugin. I just built my own because The Tinder file plugin was quite slow and so it's down. So I've just done the repeating group, single one, and it moves to the next one and it adds the person to a like. And then when you get a match, there you go. This needs to be sorted out. Problem is they keep showing up. So you keep going around, so you end up with a match list that looks like this, just hundreds of the same thing. So I basically need to, once they're on the list, so the database is set up like this. So we're displaying relationship profiles, and in each relationship profile, we have the list of likes, which corresponds to someone else's relationship profile. I basically just need to work out how to filter this repeating group to only show to only show relationship profiles that aren't on the person's like list. But I can't find out how to do that. So I basically want to do a search for relationship profiles where relationship profiles does not where current users likes does not contain that relationship profile, basically. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. So let's check the database for a second to see how this is set up.
Sure.
So in the data types, the user has a relationship profile, and then the relationship profile. So this is associated to user, and it's just to have like a satellite data type, right? To separate. Yeah. Okay. Profile picture, gender, about the list of relationship profiles. And what is the list of matches?
So when so in the workflow, when you click like, it will add the person to the list of likes. But then there's another part of the workflow that says only when current cells, relationship profiles, likes contains current user and current user relationship, it then creates a separate data type called match with the two people on it. That's working perfectly. Basically, it's continued to create loads of matches because the person that they've already liked keeps showing up in the pile, so they keep getting matched. If we can remove that person from it, they'll only be able to match with them once because they won't show up in the pile again.
Okay, and then let's go back to the design tab. And let's check this out. So you're searching for all the relationship profiles from these different users, okay? And you wanna separate the unique ID from the current. Okay, so let's add
just making sure that your profile is sharp in there.
Let's add a new constraint. And then let's do, so let me think. So right now, what is it that you want to show here? You want to show all users except the ones that you've already liked. Yeah. So you wanna do likes doesn't contain, right? Oh, no, not this. Users. Okay, no, let's do something else instead of the search. No, wait, I'm thinking. So to each relationship profile, if you've clicked like, you add that your relationship profile. Okay, then then like. And now doesn't contain the current user relationships profile.
No, because that's their one. So that way we'd never be able to match, because as soon as they liked us, we would never show up in the search, so that we couldn't like them.
So if they like us, our relationship profile adds to the likes list of their relationship profile. Okay.
Yes. So if we do likes doesn't contain current user, when they like us, it then won't show up for me. So I will never be able to match, because I'd never see their profile because it wouldn't show up. So we need to find a way to filter by what's on my likes list rather than what's in the repeating groups like list.
Okay. I'm thinking so because this is complicated. I'm thinking there are a few problems with this data structure to begin with, which is that these lists are going to be really long, really long. So normally I would approach it way a bit differently. Like I would have a like data type that has 2 users, and then a match data type that has 2 users, and I would do searches to see if if a like between 2 users exists, and if a match between 2 users exist, and you could have like likes from and you could have, instead of just 2 users, you could have like receiver and the person receiving the like, and then you check for that. And that could be an easier approach, because you're never going to have like very long lists, which might happen here if a person likes 1,000 people, which is something that will probably happen, or even 10,000 or 100,000. That list is going to be super long, and the searches are going to be super slow. So that's a problem you might want to address from now. And now, thinking of this database structure, even if that happens, we should be able to make it work. But I'm not sure you want to go down this path to begin with.
So you would do it. So every time you click the like button, it creates a like with
you create a data type, a data point.
But isn't that? I thought list would be the easiest way to do it, because otherwise, as you say, you might click it thousands, 100,000. If you have, say, 100 users who click it 1,000 times, it's 100,000 different things you're going to have to search the database for. Surely that search is going to be more taxing on Bubble than searching for a list.
Yeah, but in this case,
you can't see it, but I'm shaking my head no.
No, okay.
No. Yeah, if you constrain it right, Bubble will not have no problem searching the database for that. What Bubble has a problem doing is actually what it won't allow you to do, which is to store more than it won't let you store more than 10,000 a list of 10,000 things on a field in a data type. So
okay. All right, so how do we rebuild this then? So I've got everything. Oh God, what? No, didn't do that. Maybe. So I mean, yeah, talk me through it then, because that's the way I thought it needed to be done.
Guys, I'm gonna move for a second, so I'm gonna switch off my camera, but I'm gonna be back in like 2 minutes. Okay?
No worries.
no problem.
And I still listen.
Yeah. So I would recommend, yeah, so go to your database and create a, whatever you want to call it, that relationship between, like a dating relationship.
So is this the likes thing? Because we've already got matches, and a match is the person we've matched with, and me as in the user. So is this a different one? This is called likes, yeah?
I mean, I guess you could call it match and have it so that it's the 2 users that are in the match thing, and then you just have to track whether both of them like matched. You know what I mean? Like how do you want to track that? Maybe Pablo has an idea.
So what was the question? Because I was missing for a couple of minutes.
Oh, it's okay. He just needs some help setting it up in the database.
Yeah. So what I would do is add there a new type called just match. Yeah, something like this. But there's actually already a type match, right?
Yeah. So the match is matched with, and what we're doing when a match is created, we're actually creating 2 matches, one with me as in me the versus match, and the other one, and then creating one for them where they're the person and I'm the person matched with.
And is this because you want to differentiate between one person that has done the person that has done the match first, or something like this, or is it big for some other reason? Like, what's the reasoning not to have one data point instead of 2?
Because I need to show the list of matches, and I wanted to do a search for matches where relationship profile is equal. Where me equals current user.
When
Otherwise, if you have otherwise two people, you could be either one of them. And I've had problems with this before, where you don't know which order they're in, so you don't know which one to search for.
Okay. You can keep it this way. You could also probably just have like a list of users, so which is going to be always 2 users, and then search if you are inside that list. But it's true that then you would also want a list of viewed by users, so to make sure that the 2 users have this notification if they haven't viewed it, something like this.
Yeah,
now,
and that's why I've got Steam here. So it works this way, because that way I have one list, and then when the one that's searched for me, you can click on it, you can see when you've actually seen it or not. So I think the match part's fine, but if there's a way to do the likes bit and match likes, that would be.
So you could have a new type called like. And in this case, you're probably going to want to have a user that gives it, and then the user that receives it. I don't know how we should name this. Probably giver and receiver, maybe. Whatever it sounds natural to you.
Like no, user liking, the relationship profile, just a single one, yeah, and then
Yep. And now you could also, like, the good thing about this is also that you could like have data like when has this like been done, things like this. Now let's so let's go to the workflow, or where a person is liking.
This could take a while. There we go. So it's moving on to the next one in the group. It's I was animating the button to do a cool little bounce thing.
And right now it's making changes to your relationship profile, right? So in this case, this action would replace it, but I would create it as a new action so that you don't lose that one. Yeah. Let's do create a new thing. Yep.
Okay.
And now once you have this, if we go to the design tab, so in the search.
Let's just delete that for now.
Yeah, you wouldn't need that.
Create new life, and that needs to go there. Okay. Yep.
Okay, and now what I would do is, like, in the page, I would have a repeating group that is gonna work as an auxiliary repeating group, because you're gonna be doing a search for the likes that contain, the user as where the user is the user liking the person, and then you have all the likes that the user has given, and that loads once, and that's it. You know what I mean? So in the page, you have that.
Is that UI element, or are we just like a reference?
Wait, I lost you for a second.
Is that repeating group there? Do we need a UI on that, or is that just there? For,
no UI.
Just there for reference. Okay, cool.
Yeah. And you could use list shifter if you wanted to use a plugin for this. You could use anything that stores a list. of things.
Repeating group there, and then likes.
Yeah.
And do a search for.
Where the user liking, right? Equals, and in this case, it's going to be the current user relationship profile, right?
By the way, this is in just because this is inside the repeating group. Is that right, or does it need to be outside?
No, outside the repeating group. Because that's the whole point. We just want to do this search once, and if we use anything that is like do a search inside a row of a repeating group, you're going to be doing this search in every row of the repeating group.
Okay.
And that's going to be problematic afterwards. But this can be just like 1 pixel, like 1 width, 1 height. And
yeah, that's cool. I'll sort that afterwards. Yeah. But okay, so do I need to put another constraint on there?
Like this is perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
This works well. And now if we go to the other one where we were trying to make the search work, this one, you'd be doing search for relationship profiles, so you can eliminate that other constraint. Search for relationship profiles, and then the other one we're getting again relationship profiles. We're getting our likes. Okay, what were the fields of this? Let's add a new constraint and check them out. Yeah, but in this case, we just want to remove the ones that we have liked. So,
but this likes is the list of likes, those still that's.
Yeah, so we're not gonna use that. We're not gonna use that. So in the data source, so search for relationship profiles and then click more. How do we do like the? How do we get?
Hang on, we've got. So there's contains list here.
Yeah, so we
is there
want.
Is there a way of doing doesn't contains list? Surely that would work for.
We want to do like the opposite. We already have the items that we don't want, and we want to do like the items that we want. But like I got a little bit. I'm not seeing it right now. Okay, can you go down this list? Minus list, yeah. That should work well. And now click over there and select the repeating group. Oh no, in the previous one.
Yeah, I was just checking what it was called. Repeating group, like, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. And that is not working. Why is that not working? Relationship profiles. Let's see why is it not working. If you hover over the list of likes, that is a list of relationship profiles, right? Maybe it's that. No, but it's still not gonna work. Okay, I'm gonna do a search because I wanna look this up very quickly. I don't know why the minus list is not working. Do you know why, Tonya? Have you seen what we've done?
No, I haven't. What's going on?
So I'm using, but let's use something easier. I think actually I overcomplicated myself. So instead of minus list, let's add a constraint over there. with the unique ID with this in the first one. So let's remove that. And now here, let's add a constraint with unique ID. Yeah. And there, that's the thing. Like, is there some way for us to put there isn't in? There should be, right?
Yes, it is not that one.
Maybe with the filtered one, because I know that I've seen that somewhere.
But I've just realized the way I had it at the very start, like before we change anything, if I go back to that and then just do minus list and remove
but
the
I don't know
list
if the minus list is gonna work that way, because it didn't work for us. Can you try filtered over there just to check if that allows us
if
to?
I do minus list current users relationship profile likes.
But
I should do it, sure.
Yeah, but you're
That one.
that
I mean,
should do
I
it.
know it still has the issues we had discussed.
But that should do it. Yeah.
But that should do it, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. I mean, we took a very long detour, but
Okay. All right. So I just need to go back to where we were to start with. Yeah. What I'm thinking is people. Okay, so people have filters that they can use. So male, female, non-binary, age range, and some other, body type and things like that. By the time I've got to the point where we're as big as something like Tinder, where people are able to like thousands of profiles, I'm probably not going to be using Bubble anymore anyway, am I? And by the time that becomes a problem,
I mean, honestly, I still wouldn't follow this approach with the lists, because even like a list of 150 items can make your app go way slower if a lot of people are using it. And a lot of people have like 150 items. And that's not a lot.
We're not searching the list. We're only using the list to compare two things to create a match or not.
Yeah, but whenever you load the relationship profiles, the info associated to a list is going to load as well. Yeah. Like, I mean, you could try if this is just for like a very early MVP, and then if you see a little bit of traction, you're going to move to a different platform, then yes, but I would always advise to try to do it in the efficient way from the beginning. But if this works and you want to have it like quickly fixed, and you don't want to like wrap your head around a different approach, then definitely go for it with this.
I'm happy to go with the other approach. I think, if the other approach will make it run quicker. I've already got speed issues with the app anyway. That hasn't even launched. So yeah, if there is another approach, then I'm definitely up for doing that. It's just I mean, we can figure it out now if you guys have got time. But I appreciate. I don't know how long these sessions usually are.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Is it just the hour today, Tonya, or have we got like 2 hours?
Let's just do something, just because I really don't know. Otherwise, I'll look it up after the call. I'll look it up and send it to you. But let's use the filtered one to see if I can do the unique ID.
Yeah. Unique ID.
So instead of there, click more in the after search. And then filter. Yeah. Up. Yeah. And now add the unique ID over there. And in click. Yeah, it's interesting. So here you can do it. You can do isn't in. That's interesting. Huh. Okay. And now what I wanted to do is basically do repeating groups here and then the list of unique IDs.
Yeah.
But actually, like, it would be really interesting to compare if this is actually faster or not to compared to the other approach, because there's a chance that, like, you see that with a like with a certain amount of users, like the approach that you had working is actually faster. Like that's also a possibility. And but if you wanted to use like the approach where you create the likes, which is what I would have done, and then you load them and you compare the relationships with the list of likes, I would do it this way. Yeah. So you have the repeating group of auxiliary info with all the list of likes, and then you have the other repeating group loading the users without the likes.
Okay, so theoretically now, if I reload this, which may take a while, and I click heart on everyone, all 7 users, then it should go empty after 7 clicks then, because it won't show the others, yeah?
Yeah.
Right,
I mean, because you have, I mean, if the minus list thing is working, otherwise what I would do if you find out that it's not working or that is slow, something like this, what I would do is like follow the approach where you're creating likes, you know, the one that I wanted to use. And you can actually compare that like with, I don't know, 100 use, like you just create 100 mock users and then give like to all of them, see how it works. Yeah, if you want to create like mock data, I don't know if you've heard of Mokaru, but it's a very nice service. I'm going to type it in the chat.
Okay. So I'm just waiting for the page to load.
You can create like 500 users with mock data and upload them to your app and play with those.
Oh, awesome. Wow. See if it's faster on my phone.
So, do you want to check something else? Do you have any more questions?
I'm still waiting to see if this works.
Okay.
So I'm just waiting for the page. There we go. Cool. Okay, share my screen now. Let's see if this works. Relationship matches. Here we go. Like. That's weird. It's not working anymore.
Okay, so let's debug. Let's see what's going on.
Debug. What the?
Can you use the debugger on this page?
You have to stop sharing again, so it'll load. Cool. That's pretty cool. So relationship, and then inspect. Yeah.
Oh, but do you need to have it like in mobile? Because then the debugger is not going to work.
Okay. I don't know how well this is gonna. How do I get it out of? There we go. Yeah, that's
it. Okay, so you can go step by step.
But I can't press the button.
No, let's do a step. Oh, really? Wow, this like this. I don't know. I wouldn't be able to live without the debugger. It's so hard to know what's going on otherwise. Okay, so yeah, run next. Okay, run next. Yeah, next. 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 Okay, next. Yeah, I think it's because you're not making the changes to because you deleted the original workflow.
I didn't delete the workflow. I only deleted the add to list.
The action. I mean, let's go back to the app. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's go back to the app and check it out. In the workflow. So I think there was an action to make changes, right?
No.
No, but I mean like, oh, but you want to try this approach. Okay, sorry.
Oh, no, no, oh, sorry. So was this approach using the old one?
What?
Was this approach using the add to list one?
I can't hear you very well. Can you repeat?
Yeah, sure. So was the approach we've just done using the list version rather than the likes version?
No. So I thought you wanted to try like if your original approach was working with a minus list thing. I didn't know like we were trying this other approach, which is why I thought that the other action needed to be in place. But let's try it with this one. So so this should be working well. So now let's go back to the app and see what's going on. Let's check the repeating group. So let's do inspect. So just click run to finish this action, and now inspect. Yep, and let's search for the repeating group or the relationship profiles.
Of the actual matchup thing, yeah.
Yeah. But is this a repeating group? Go down. Let's check. So
Cool. I thought that was it.
okay.
Oh, dating one.
Okay, let's see what's what. Let's go down to the search. Search for repeating profiles filtered. Let's click over there. Search for repeating profiles. Okay. Yeah, now filtered. Unique IDs in there. Okay. But what happened was that it's constantly going back to the first one, right?
Yeah.
And how did you solve that in the beginning? I mean, it should be solved automatically because you should be okay. Are we? Yeah, we're creating the list. I think the repeating group might not be refreshing without us.
So it's just showing that.
Yeah, clear problem. It's just show next. Oh, because it's the repeating group. That's true. But that's weird. Like this behavior, it's really weird. Okay, let's delete this action for a second and see what happens. Yeah. And let's refresh the page and try to play around with it. Give likes.
It's not going to move on to the next one now, is it? It's not telling it to move on. It's just
because it's gonna create a new like, so that should upload the repeating group of your likes. And then the filter will remove that person from the repeating group that you're seeing. Is this a picture of a user? It is, right?
Yeah.
So let's go step by step. And click. No, but click the heart, doing the step by step.
Oh.
Okay. Group relationship profile, animate. Yeah, run next. And in create a new like. Parent groups, click there, parent groups relationship profile. In the relationship profile. Yeah, that's good. And the current user relationship profile, click there also. Okay. Actually, I'm thinking, yeah, that's okay. Okay, run next. Yeah, this you can omit. Like you can run next for the few next actions. Okay, run next. Run next. Yeah, again. And the user is not moving, but it's weird. Is it? Because you've added this to the list of likes. It's Richard age 21. Okay, can you look the repeating group, the other one, the likes one? Do not inspect, but looking for the likes repeating group?
I can't reach it.
No, but using the inspect tool. What was it called? Probably repeating group something, right? So showing up there. Yeah. And let's see. Okay, can you go down the list? Can you go to the data and check the privacy rules?
There won't be it. There shouldn't be any privacy rules on it.
There shouldn't be, right? Let's.
Well, we haven't added any, so Pablo have stopped putting them on automatically. So no privacy rules.
Yeah, it's publicly visible. Okay. Okay, so let's do something. Can you share the link to the editor? I'll play around, and in the meantime, you can have the other approach with the minus list.
Yep. So go back to the original.
Yeah, go back to the original, but removing the list using the minus list, current user relationship profile likes. I think that was the expression, right? And I'll try to make this other one work because I think this should be a better approach.
Okay, I might as well go back to Kim. Do you remember what time we started talking about this? So I can revert back. Is it like a 10:45 or something?
Yes, pretty much exactly.
10:45, yeah?
Yep.
I'm going to have to pop through the database quickly and delete all the likes from everyone as well. Otherwise, it will just not show anything. Not get confusing. No, hang on. Bubble done that thing where it doesn't show my app data. No, it's done that thing where it. There we go. So app data. Right. Relationship file. Sorry, Bubble's being insanely slow. My app is being insanely slow.
No worries at all, man.
Okay. Oh, okay, cool. Delete. Can't add the same thing to a list more than once, can you?
What?
You can't add the same thing to a list more than once, can you?
I don't know if it's just me, but I the sound is very bad for me. It's very hard for me to hear you. I think it's something with your mic, Calum.
It may well be. Right. So can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, a little bit better.
Awesome. So where are we? Match up. Go. So back to the original way. Current cell. Nope, that's the wrong thing. Dating one. Search for relationship profiles. So unique ID isn't that one. Minus list. Of current users. Relationship profile. Likes. Which means that should now no longer. I'm still sharing the screen just so it can load. It's so weird in terms of how long my app takes to load. Sometimes it will load in 2 seconds. Sometimes it will take over a minute to load. I have absolutely no idea why there's a difference. Right, okay, it's loaded on my phone quicker, so let's just try it. Yep, 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 yep. Perfect. Yep, cool. It's now showing a blank screen. I've gone through all of them. It's showing the blank screen. Yeah, okay, so I just need to display a message. Oh, actually, I can do it on. Oh, cool. I'm actually logged into 2 different accounts, one on my laptop, one on here, so it should work again. So here we go. Like, that's a match. Like, and
I know. Yeah. When you don't have any anymore, you would want to show a message. I still want to try also the other approach so that you can choose between the two up to a point when you think, hey, I want to improve performance. Let's try this other approach out. But if this one works for the moment, then that's great, I think.
Yeah. I'm thinking of a cool. I mean, I'm thinking. I like to think of cool ways to use Bubble's limitations as an advantage. You know how Tonya, we spoke about this with the list of friends, where we basically, because friends should just be friends, we don't want to allow them. There's no point in allowing them to have more than 10,000 friends anyway. You could do the same thing with dating. You could basically say you can only have a maximum of 1,000 likes. You can delete likes afterwards and say I don't want to like this person anymore and keep going through it. But you would have to keep your total number of likes below 1,000, meaning that those are 1,000 people you most want to match with. That could work. Yeah. All right. Cool. thanks for the help anyway. I appreciate it. Yeah, that mindless list thing, that was what really got me stuck. But yeah, cool. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Awesome.
Ben, do you have any more questions? Sorry, Tonya, you were about to
No
speak.
worries.
I've just been playing around with the APIs. I'll probably have some on Friday for you though, but I've just been playing around with them.
Okay, awesome.
All right, I guess we'll wrap up this episode of Office Hours. We'll be back later today at 10 a.m. Pacific time for our traditional Monday office hours. I hope to see you then. Ben and Calum, if you're still around, and Pablo, if you're up for it. Thank you both for being here this evening. Thank you as always, Kim, and we'll see you later.